So it has been nearly a full year since the last NFL draft in 2021, and we will be regrading the 2021 NFL draft. And I will say a year really isn't enough time, because just one quick example, if Josh Allen were to be regraded after his rookie year, you'd say he's a bust. After year two, you would say he's still not very good. And then year three, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So, and that of course is more usual with the quarterback position. But a lot of these guys, we don't really know how good they're going to be until about when their rookie contract is going to come up. So 4 or 5 years into their career. But this is only 1 year after, and that's going to present a fun challenge. And some of these things will not age well, even though they're accurate at the time. So we're going to go ahead and start team by team and regrade the 2021 NFL draft. So I gave the Cardinals a C+, and at this moment, I don't really think I can change this all that much. Zaven Collins had kind of a weird rookie season, and the Cardinals still don't really know where to play all their guys. Rondale Moore, I like. He's a good slot receiver. He's kind of like this guy that you can move around. He's like a gadget player, but we really didn't see a ton from him in year one. I think he's going to take a jump in year two, especially without Christian Kirk. And then Tay Gowan's not even on the team anymore. A lot of these guys at the back end aren't going to be playing much, and I can't really even say too much about Victor Dimukeje there. Don't really see him making much of an impact his rookie season. But now with Chandler Jones gone, maybe he sees an increased role. But yeah, I don't really think I can change this too much from a C+. Maybe after the performance of Zaven Collins his rookie season, how much he saw the field, maybe this is even a C. It's tough to say right now. I gave the Falcons a B+. I thought they made some big moves for the future. Of course, Kyle Pitts had an incredible rookie season. I liked Richie Grant in the second round. I thought Jalen Mayfield was decent value in the third. However, Richie Grant didn't have that great of a first year. Jalen Mayfield, I think, is going to be playing more guard than tackle, but we'll have to see what happens with Caleb McGarry at right tackle long term. And a lot of these guys were just depth pieces that probably will see a lot more play time in season 2. Can I leave this at a B+? I don't think so. I'm going to drop it down to a B-, but as with a lot of these grades, I'm sure, we're just not going to know for a little while. It's going to take a long time for some of these players to really rise up, and we'll see how good this class really is. But right now, not really a lot of difference makers in this draft class other than Kyle Pitts, but that could change. For the Baltimore Ravens, I gave this a B. They had 2 first-round picks, Rashad Bateman, who really didn't play a ton his rookie year, but was decent when he did play. Injuries were a big problem. Odafe Oweh was quite good. They no longer have Sean Wade. Tylan Wallace, I hope, will take a big step up in year 2. He'll have to see the field more, and hopefully that ends up happening. I think he's a good player. Brandon Stevens had kind of an up-and-down rookie year. He's still a weird player, where they drafted him. He was a former running back, converted to corner at SMU. They wanted him to play safety. Kind of weird, wasn't too bad, but yeah, I think that a B is a fair grade, and maybe even bump it up to a B+, given how good Odafe Oweh was in year 1. Now, everyone knows I hate Greg Rousseau because I said he was disappointing and not worth a top 5 selection, and then he goes at number 30, and I'm the idiot, but I gave the Bills a B, and I think that's a fair grade, given what we've seen. Rousseau had a decent rookie year, nothing spectacular, didn't play a ton, but as we knew, he was going to be a pretty good run defender, and he got some sacks recorded as well, even if the pressures weren't anything crazy, but that could go up with playtime. Spencer Brown, I thought, was really good this past year, given being a third-round pick, late third-rounder, number 93 in the draft, and he stepped in and started at right tackle, and he did a pretty good job. So I'm quite happy about that. Damar Hamlin is someone who we could see a lot from going forward. I don't mind this Bills class. I might even bump this up to a B+. I think they did a pretty good job. Now, I gave the Carolina Panthers an A+. Well, it didn't exactly work out the way I thought it would, with J.C. Horn going down with injury, Terrace Marshall really not making much of an impact in year 1, Brady Christensen kind of along the same lines, but Tommy Trumbull was quite good. Chuba Hubbard ended up playing a lot with the injury to Christian McCaffrey. Keith Taylor was actually quite good in the 5th round. He was one of my favorite corners in the draft. That was going to be a late round selection. So I still like this draft class quite a lot. I can't really leave it at an A+, just because we really didn't see J.C. Horn and Terrace Marshall. And I know that's not J.C. Horn's fault. Had a huge injury, didn't really play much as a result. But yeah, I'm going to have to bump this down just a little bit. I'm going to leave it in the A's. I'm going to give them an A-. It's just the top 2 picks really didn't do much. And I know it's uncontrollable with the injury, but I just can't leave it at an A+ for right now. We revisit this next year. J.C. Horn's great. Terrace Marshall's playing well. Yeah, this is probably going back to an A+. But what they were able to do in the mid-rounds, Tommy Tremble, Chuba Hubbard, Heath Taylor, I thought that was really good, and I still do. Bears should be interesting. I gave the Bears an A-. And I don't know that I'm going to bump this down that much. Tevin Jenkins was injured. Justin Fields was in a horrible situation as a rookie. And of course, with quarterbacks, you can't really just take the rookie season and say that's going to be the player that they are. But yeah, Justin Fields wasn't great. But Khalil Herbert was exceptional in the 6th round. Tevin Jenkins is going to be a good player. I still like Justin Fields. I think I might bump this down to a B+. But what they were able to get out of Khalil Herbert in the 6th, and then Tevin Jenkins continuing to develop, and eventually Justin Fields, I still think it was a really good draft. Now, I got a comment recently on this, and it was roasting me for my Bengals take, saying that they should have gone with Penei Sewell over Jamar Chase, and their draft class didn't make them a Super Bowl contender, which I still believe that this draft class didn't make them a Super Bowl contender. Jamar Chase was great, obviously. He was a huge contributor. And Evan McPherson in the 5th was also great, and a big reason why they ended up going to the Super Bowl, if you want to talk about the draft class and the impact made. But every pick in between really didn't do a whole lot. Jackson Carman was not good. Joseph Osai really didn't see the field much. Cam Sample kind of along the same lines. Tyler Shelvin's a nose tackle, but they have a player who kind of fills a similar role in DJ Reader. Deontay Smith is a developmental tackle. We're not going to know about him. Same thing with Trey Hill at center. He's just not really going to be playing a lot because Trey Hopkins was their starting center. But yeah, I think I would move it up to a B+ just because Jamar Chase and Evan McPherson were so good. But every pick in between really wasn't anything exceptional, at least not at this point in time. I gave the Browns an A+. And I think that really centered around Greg Newsome, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I like Tommy Togiai in the 4th, Demetric Felton in the 6th. I still think this is a really, really good draft. JOK and Greg Newsome were both exceptional as rookies. Demetric Felton, when he played, was pretty good as well. Some of these picks in between weren't anything too crazy, but I still like this class quite a bit, especially their 2 picks inside the top 50. Can I leave this at an A+? I think I would be hard-pressed to, but I'm going to give them an A. I think they knocked it out of the park with their first 2 picks, and the reason I would hold their grade a little bit higher is because those are going to be huge impact starters. Not just like, oh, good value, these guys are going to play a role, but those are huge impact starters at their positions. This one is going to be real interesting for the Cowboys. And I'm going to bump this up from a B- for sure. And I'm going to give it up to an A-. The reason being, Micah Parsons was the best player in the draft class. Plain and simple. Jamar Chase was awesome on offense. Micah Parsons, based on his rookie season, was the best player in the draft. And I really didn't believe that at the time. And for good reason. I didn't think he could play Mike linebacker. And that's not the role he ended up excelling with the Cowboys. He ended up rushing off the edge. And I didn't know if he could do that based off his edge rush snaps at Penn State. They were few and far between, even though he's a great athlete. But yeah, he really developed as a pass rusher and was exceptional in year 1. So I have to bump this grade up. Osa Odighizuwa was also quite good in the 3rd round. Injuries hurt some of the rest of this team. Like Jabril Cox is kind of the one that stands out to me. And I still think like Nashawn Wright was a horrible pick at that spot. But between Micah Parsons and Osa Odighizuwa, I'm going to bump the class up on those 2 players alone. And Micah Parsons, yeah, you got the best player in the draft so far at pick 12. That's pretty good. I gave the Broncos an A, and I think I'm going to leave it at a flat A. Pat Surtain was so good as a rookie. He was incredible, and I think he really didn't get enough hype from how well he performed as a rookie. Javonte Williams, same deal. He was awesome. And yeah, running back, top of the 2nd round, that's kind of where you want to take him. but he was really, really good. And yeah, he didn't start. Melvin Gordon was there. They kind of split carries a little bit, but Javonte Williams was exceptional, especially on a per carry basis in terms of broken tackles per attempt or forced missed tackles per attempt, yards after contact. Javonte Williams was awesome. I still like the potential of guys like Quinn Miners going forward. Jamar Johnson. Caden Stearns was actually pretty good as a rookie, and Baron Browning is poised to take a step up in year 2. I can't change this from an A. I think this was still a really good class. I gave the Detroit Lions an A, and I will be bumping that up to an A+. And I know that seems crazy based off this draft class, but it was just really solid. Penei Sewell was good as a rookie, especially when he moved back to his more natural left tackle. Really solid value at number 7, and you'll expect him to continue to develop. Levi Onwuzurike, Ali McNeil. I still like the way they approach the draft on the interior. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think, is the biggest reason I'm bumping this up, who I thought was good value in the 4th, but he played even better in his rookie season. He was really, really good for the Lions. One of the lone bright spots on that team. Derek Barnes, I thought, was pretty good as a rookie as well, you know, given his snap count. So is A+ a little bit overinflating this? Maybe a little bit, but I do want to show that this draft class even outperformed expectations when they were still quite high. I gave it an A. I gave the Packers a C+, and I'm not sure that there's much in here to kind of change that. I like what Eric Stokes did as a rookie. He was pretty good, but the rest of these guys really didn't play too much of an impact. Like Royce Newman was pretty solid, but there just isn't a lot in here at the moment to bump this up any higher than a C+. I'm not saying it was a horrible draft class, but it wasn't anything crazy enough for me to change this grade. I think a C+ is still fair. I'm going to be harsh here probably. Yeah, I gave the Texans a D. I'm going to bump this up. Davis Mills was really, really good for a rookie quarterback taken in the 3rd round. He outperformed expectations. He was really solid. Nico Collins was pretty good as well. Roy Lopez also exceeded my expectations. Overall, Brevin Jordan kind of didn't perform quite as well as I would have hoped. Garrett Wallow, maybe not too much of an impact just yet. More of a special teams guy at this point. But yeah, I have to move this up based on the performance of Davis Mills alone. I think I'm going to give them a B-. They didn't have a ton of picks, which is why I started this grade a little bit lower. But yeah, I think they've warranted quite an upgrade, and B- is what I'll settle on. Give the Colts a C. Kwity Paye, Deo Odeyingbo, Sam Ehlinger, and I think a C is still fair. I think it is. I want to see Kwity Paye take a big step up. I want to see Deo Odeyingbo develop as well, because they took 2 edges with their first 2 selection, and like those are positions that they need more from, plain and simple, and those are developmental players. So with these edge rushers developing, this grade could move up quite a bit, but for me right now, it's still probably going to be a C. Gave the Jags a B+, and I think that's fair. I mean, they had the #1 overall pick in the draft. They got Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence was pretty good as a rookie. I know the numbers are going to say he wasn't that good. He dealt with a horrible offensive line and receivers that couldn't get open or catch. Pretty bad combo. I thought he played well and got better as the season progressed, even if he got off to a little bit of a rocky start. Not saying he played perfect, not saying every interception wasn't his fault, but yeah, developing as a rookie quarterback in a bad situation, Jacksonville, going to be pretty tough. Travis Etienne was injured. Tyson Campbell, I thought played pretty well when he was on the field. Andre Sisco, I'd like to see a little bit more from. And a lot of these down the board were, you know, developmental players anyway, like Jordan Smith from UAB. Walker Little could end up being a starting tackle for this team in a year or 2. Maybe B+ is a little bit aggressive here. I'm going to give them a B. It wasn't bad. They had a lot of swings of the bat, and we'll have to see if they hit some home runs here down the line. But right now, I think a B is fair. Gave the Chiefs a B+, and I'm going to bump that up even more. I'm going to give this an A. Flat A. No, I'm going to give it an A+. If I give the Lions an A+, I'm going to give the Chiefs an A+. I think they killed the draft. Completely revamped their offensive line. Creed Humphrey at 63 was one of the best picks in the entire draft, as he was one of the best centers in football last year. Trey Smith was really, really good as a rookie guard, and that's honestly all I really need to see to bump this up to an A+. Nick Bolton got better as the season went on. He was actually pretty good. Haven't seen much from Josh Kane, though, former 5-star recruit to Florida State. I was surprised to get drafted so high, to be honest. But he's a developmental guy. He can end up being really good. The athletic traits are there. Noah Gray played a little bit, but of course they have Travis Kelce, so he really wasn't going to see the field a ton. And then Cornell Powell still has potential. Might see more of an expanded role without Tyreek Hill and Byron Pringle. And Demarcus Robinson for the Chiefs. Man, they lost a lot of receivers. Yeah, Cornell Powell, they're going to need him to take a step up. Who is Patrick Mahomes going to throw to? Gave the Chargers a B+. I think that's fair. Rashawn Slater was an all-pro tackle. As a rookie, dude. Rashawn Slater was incredible. I still think a B+ is fair. Asante Samuel Jr. is going to be pretty good. He had an up-and-down rookie season, but overall I think was impressive. And he'll probably end up being a nickel guy. I think is his best role. Josh Palmer, I think we'll see an expanded role as a deep threat without, some of the classic deep threats we've seen for this Chargers team that just really aren't household names. But Josh Palmer will probably be that next guy. Trey McKitty, developmental player. We can kind of say the same thing about the rest of this draft class as well. Larry Roundtree can end up seeing a big role. Nick Neiman's a great athlete. Wouldn't be surprised to see him take a step up. Overall, this Chargers class, I think, is good. I don't know that it's exceptional. So I'm going to give them a B. I think a B is fair. Here we go. This should be fun. The Rams absolutely killed the draft. Be like, what, a D? Maybe even worse. It'll probably be a D. It's really Tutu Atwell was such a horrible pick at 57. I mean, it's insane. Maybe he'll end up being a good player down the line. I would doubt it. It's just Ernest Jones was pretty good for a 3rd-round pick, by the way, as well. This is a class that really, for me right now, is being carried by Ernest Jones and even Robert Rochelle a little bit. But overall, I feel kind of the same way I did about it at the time, which is that, it's really not a great draft class. It's not horrible, but Ben Skoranek, I don't know why he kept seeing the field. Can I really bump this up from a C-? Yeah, I'll give him a C because Ernest Jones played it better than expectations. I'll give him that. Gave the Raiders a B, and I think that's still fair. Alex Leatherwood was horrendous in year 1. I mean, it would be tough to be worse than he was. He's just got to pick one position and develop there. And I know it's not his fault. They kept moving him around. Let him learn one position, please. They don't make him play left guard, right tackle. It's too much for a rookie. So, yeah, it makes sense he's going to struggle a lot. It's tough. Trayvon Merrick was quite good as a rookie. Malcolm Kuntz didn't really play, but when he did play, had one of the highest pass rush win rates in the league, which, yeah, extremely small sample size. Will that end up being the case over a full season in 2022? Unlikely, but we'll have to see. Divine Diablo, I like going forward. He saw a pretty good role. Tyree Gillespie, not too bad as a rookie, although he wasn't on the field a ton. And then Nate Hobbs in the 5th was one of the best value picks in the entire draft. Even though Nate Hobbs got into some trouble off the field, he was amazing when he was on the field for a 5th-round pick. Played primarily slot corner for the Raiders. And yeah, I'm going to bump this draft up a little bit to a B+. Overall, they really missed in the 1st round with Leatherwood so far. But they had some pretty good picks down the line, especially with Nate Hobbs at 167. Tremendous value. I already know this is going to be an A+ for the Dolphins. I love this draft, and I think I have no reason to bump it down at all. Jalen Waddle was really good as a rookie, had over 100 catches, if you want to count that. The offense was really not one that could stretch the field very much, so it'll be really interesting to see what Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill do together, who could be 2 of the best deep threats in the league, that might not get the chance. We'll have to see what Tua Tagovailoa can do in year 3 now. Jalen Phillips didn't do a whole lot as a rookie, but was pretty decent when he was on the field. It's just about developing him. Javon Holland was exceptional for a rookie. Great pick at 36. Absolutely love Javon Holland. And the rest of the class, yeah, kind of question marks. We'll have to see. Hunter Long could end up seeing an expanded role. Liam Eichenberg might end up starting. which right now doesn't look too great, but their top 3 picks were so good. I think an A is where I have to stay on that. Minnesota Vikings. So this one is interesting because it's like, how much do you value what a guy like Kene Nwangu brings to the table, where he was quite good as a return man, but that's kind of it. And I don't put a grade on the screen for this, but the grade I would give this, regrading it a year later. Christian Darrisaw, I liked what he did as a rookie, but overall just a lot of question marks where we just don't know about a lot of these guys right now. Just limited snap counts, things like that. Cam Bynum wasn't too bad for a rookie. I would probably give it a C+, but that could be bumped up quite a bit. It's just that we don't really know about a lot of these players right now. Haven't played enough. I gave the Patriots an A, and I think I'm going to leave it as an A. Mac Jones was great as a rookie. He was the best rookie quarterback. Christian Barmore was really good for the 38th pick in the draft. He's a really good pass rusher. We knew that. Run defense, that's going to have to come along a little bit. Ramondre Stevenson was exceptional value at pick 120 in the draft. Overall, this was definitely a solid class, and it should probably get even better as we see more of an expanded role for Ronnie Perkins and Cam McGrone fighting back from injury. And yeah, I'll leave it as an A. Just killed it with Mac Jones so far, Christian Barmore, Ramondre Stevenson. This was just a really solid draft. Gave the Saints a B-, which was higher than a lot of people did, but Pete Warner was quite good as a rookie. Paulson Adebo was quite good as a rookie. Still wait to see on Peyton Turner. You know, his role was expected to increase without Trey Hendrickson, but Marcus Davenport still is a starting edge there. So what is Peyton Turner going to do in year 2? Remains to be seen. It really does. I think he could still be quite a good player. I didn't hate the pick as much as everybody else seemed to, but overall, can I really move this much from a B-? Certainly not going up. I think B- is fair based on the play of Pete Warner and Paulson Adebo. And yeah, we have question marks with a lot of these other players, including their first rounder, Peyton Turner. My favorite team, the New York Giants. I gave this an A-. And based off everyone's rookie season, I have to bring this down. Kadarius Toney had a huge performance, went for, 189 yards against the Cowboys. Here's the problem. He was injured all the time. Was injured basically the whole season. Aaron Robinson injured the whole season. Azeez Ojulari played really well for a rookie. Love what he did. He was phenomenal for a rookie. Ellerson Smith, we didn't see a whole lot of injury. Gary Brightwell, special teamer, where Darius Williams didn't really see the field much. So this entire Giants rookie class, we don't really know about. First round pick, injury. Third round pick, injury. Fourth round pick, injury. The only guy we really got to see play was Azeez Ojulari. This can't stay at an A-. If I'm going to bump down other teams for injury based off what we saw from their rookie seasons, I have to do it for the Giants, of course. I'm going to leave this, I'm going to go to a B, which I think is fair. It seems to be a decent class. Kadarius Toney was great when he played. Azeez Ojulari was good, but it can't be really higher than a B for me right now. I gave the Jets an A, and I think I'm going to leave that as an A as well. Zach Wilson, he got better as the season went on. A little bit rough as a rookie at times, of course. Elijah Vera Tucker was tremendous. He was so good as a rookie. You just don't really see offensive linemen step into the league and be as good as he was right away. Like, we're spoiled with Tristan Wirfs and Rashawn Slater and even Mekhi Becton. But yeah, AVT, so good as a rookie. Great pick at number 14. Great move to trade up for them. I know people were not too happy with that at the time. Moving up for a guard, trading all that much for a guard, he was certainly worth it. Elijah Moore, love Elijah Moore. Great value, I think, at 34. He could have been a first-round pick. Michael Carter, great value in the 4th. Michael Carter the 2nd, played pretty well for a 5th-round pick. Can't really say too much bad about this class. I think it was really, really solid. I know they're bullish on Jamie and Sherwood in the building, but we'll have to see on that one. But yeah, an A, that's fair. I'm going to leave it. I gave the Eagles an A-. Devontae Smith, great as a rookie. Landon Dickerson, still a bit of a question mark. Kenneth Gainwell was pretty good as a rookie. A lot of question marks still here, though, because once Landon Dickerson becomes a true starter, we'll have a better idea of what this grade really should be. Milton Williams, kind of along the same lines, if he ends up being a starter, not just a rotational inside-out defensive lineman. Zach McPherson, don't really know a ton about yet. Still so young. Marlon Tuipulotu, kind of along the same lines. So a lot of guys that we just don't really know what they can do just yet. But we'll have to see. A-, I have to bump it down. I'm going to give them a B, just like I gave the Giants a B, where they had some decent players, decent contributors. Devontae Smith was a great first-round pick. Maybe even a B+. Let's go B+ for the Eagles. Pittsburgh Steelers, I gave them a B. Now, I think people will remember me being hypercritical of their picks, and then you see me settle on a B. I'm not really a Steelers hater. I just don't really see the value in taking a running back at 24, even though Najee Harris was my #1 running back in the class. Really love Najee. I did it. However, I think they had more pressing needs, and that's why this grade is a little bit lower than maybe the Steelers faithful would have you believe. Pat Freiermuth, kind of along the same lines. I just really didn't see the value in taking a tight end there with their offensive line at the time, but he was pretty good as a rookie. Kendrick Green, it was rough for him. It really was. He was playing center, wasn't great as a center. He's probably going back to guard this season, and I think he'll perform a little bit better there at a more natural position for him. Quincy Roche is on the Giants now. Overall, I think a B is still fair. Like, I recognize that they got good players. I just thought that they left a little bit of talent on the board, and I still feel that way. San Francisco 49ers, I gave them a B+. I ended up calling Elijah Mitchell their worst pick, which obviously looks pretty bad in hindsight. I was wrong about that, but my thought process on that was they just didn't need him. They had so many running backs, but when everybody got injured and Trey Sermon ended up being like a healthy scratch and they drafted him in the 3rd round, I'm like, why did they need Elijah Mitchell? They have all these running backs. They don't need him. Bad pick. Turns out wrong. Running backs get injured all the time. It's so important to have depth, and Elijah Mitchell was incredible as a rookie. Trey Lance, we don't really know yet. We don't really know. He was okay when he played. I think that's a fair and conservative assessment. Ambry Thomas, I think, was also okay. Probably played even a little bit too much as a rookie. Aaron Banks, we still don't really know a ton about just yet. Overall, I think a B+ is still fair. I'm bullish on Trey Lance. Elijah Mitchell down here, that is on screen, was a really, really, really good value pick at number 194 in the draft. I think Ambry Thomas was a solid mid-rounder. B+ is where I'll leave this. Seattle Seahawks, I gave them a B. I can't keep this here. They only had 3 picks, so it is tough to grade a 3-person draft class. I love Dwayne Eskridge out of Western Michigan. Injuries were a big problem for him in year 1. Trey Brown played pretty well as a rookie, and we don't really know a ton about Stone Forsythe just yet, although I was pretty happy with that pick for them at the time. A B, I'm going to have to bump this down to a B-. It's still, in that same neighborhood, obviously. It's just we don't really know about Dwayne Eskridge just yet. Injuries were a problem. But Trey Brown, still a pretty good value pick. It's not a bad draft class for the Seahawks, but guys, there are 3 players. How do we grade this? I gave the Tampa Bay Bucks a B, and I'm going to move it down to a C+ probably. Like, Jalen Darden going forward could be pretty good. Robert Hainsey didn't play. Kyle Trask didn't play. Joe Tryon could end up being pretty decent. I liked what I saw from him as a rookie, but yeah, still wasn't a full-time starter. Didn't really make a huge impact, and not a ton down the board here. But I'm gonna have to bump this down to a B-. Just a lot of guys we just didn't see him play, and that's because the Bucks are so good. How do you discredit the draft class from we just haven't seen them yet? But that's kind of the point, is can't grade guys that really weren't great because they didn't play. Gave the Titans a B+. I mean, I just can't leave that here at a B+. Just didn't see enough of an impact from a lot of these guys. Caleb Farley, injury. Radens, didn't really see him. Elijah Molden, pretty good as a rookie, but overall, we just didn't really see a lot of these guys make a big impact. I think I'm going to have to bump this down. I'll give him a B-. And the last pick is Washington. Now, the Washington Commanders, I gave them an A. I think Sam Cosmi was good as a rookie. I like Diami Brown going forward, even though he really wasn't too great as a rookie. Jamin Davis, really wasn't all that good as a rookie either. I still think it could end up being a pretty good class. I think A was a little bit aggressive at the time, and we really haven't seen that come to fruition yet. I'm going to give them a flat B. But that will be my regrading every team in the 2021 NFL Draft a year later. Let me know where you disagree. Some of the guys, I can't see all 22 on every single team, so I'm sure there's some players that I should have mentioned a little bit more in this video that maybe I didn't. Leave them down in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. See me high step to the end zone. My life like a game Nintendo. Playing with the best, let them know. Get off the track, the train's coming through. Yeah. Promise you get in my way, then you best believe I'ma just run over you. Yeah, yeah. I'ma turn taking it back to the house. Defensive joke, I'm laughing so loud. Speed burst good.